Hi, right now I'm going to do a Caribbean evening dinner now. I think I did a breakfast and I've done a lunch. Right, so it was, I think it was fried egg and sauté yams. I think I done fish and chips, but it was actually saltfish and yam chips. Okay, so that's fried and fried. Let's go a different way now. I'm going to do one more fry, yes, but it's going to be like what we call cooked down fish, yeah? Might fry it off and then we're going to cook it down in some gravy and I'm going to serve that with some hard food, right? What we call it, food, yeah? It's going to be tuber and like a fruit vegetable and farinaceous. Okay, the tuber is going to be yam. The fruit vegetable, the green banana, let me tell you, right, full of potassium, right, and then yam. All right, watch it now. There's my pot, nice and ready. I put my green banana in the skin, in the pot, and then I have already made the dumplings already. Now when you're doing a hard food, right, what you do is you put your dumplings in and you put your yam in, and then just as the yam is getting to cook, you put your green banana in, because green banana takes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes most to cook. If you cook it too much, it will mash out. I don't know, mash out green banana. So that's my yam in the pot and my cornmeal dumpling, right, which is just flour, 2 parts flour, 1 part cornmeal or polenta, if you and enough water. We don't measure water in the Caribbean. Enough water until you get a dough. Then you knead the dough and you shape the dough the shape you want it, long, short, round, whatever you want to do it. And then you put it in boiling water, just like you would do with pasta and stuff like that, yeah. So far I've got my yam, banana and dumpling in the boiling water. Right now I've got some salmon that was already been prepared. This is supremes of salmon. Passed through some seasoned flour. Make sure the pan is fairly hot and I'm going to place it in skin side down. Watch me, like that. Gently, no splashing. While that is happening, I'm going to prepare myself the garnish that I'm going to serve with it. In Jamaica we have something called escovitch, which is cooked down onions and peppers and maybe some carrots, and we cook it down in some vinegar and a little bit of hot pepper sauce, and we throw it over the fish. Well, this fish dish is kind of like that, but I'm going to steam it down. So I'm going to fry the fish, but I'm going to serve it in a coconut sauce. Watch and see my evening dinner. It's going to be good. Right, so now I've got my pepper and my onion. When I did the Akin saltfish, I did dices. So what I would have done, I would have sliced the pepper down like that and the onion. Then I would have cut it across into tiny little dices, which is called a brunoise, right? But this is a little thicker than a julienne. Let's call it julienne. Julienne, which is long strips, and we're going to cook it just like that. So we're going to cook off as long strips. So here you can see, I'm just making little strips there. I'm going to cook that off, and it's going to taste delicious. So I was going to show you how to do an onion. Right, so I'm just going to go down with the onion, like that. And you see that, once again, just long strips I'm doing. Julian, the same way I would do it if I was doing stir fry. So, like that. You don't know. I know if I handle a knife. Yeah. Now, once the fish is cooked, I'm just going to turn it over slowly, just to get the other side cooking. Like that. And like that. And let that cook nice and slowly. Now it is good when you're presenting, right, skin side up. Yeah? Remember that. When you're cooking it, the first thing you do is the skin side down. But when you're presenting it, it's the skin side, so the skin is towards the customer. Yeah? Right, so the fish is still frying, lovely. Right, so I'm gonna have some coconut milk, and I'm gonna have some stock cube. But right now, let me just check this banana. Right, remember, when the banana went into the pot, it was green. How do you know when the bananas cook? The skin changes colour, a darker colour. Yeah. So it's a little bit longer. I'm putting a little bit longer in there, maybe about a minute or so. And so that will come out, and that will go nicely, lovely. So instead of having fried food now, just a little bit of fried fish, no problem. I'm going to serve it with a coconut sauce and some boiled hard food. And you know how it goes already. Right, I've taken the salmon off now. And then I am going to start to put the vegetables in there. And I'm going to saute these vegetables off until they're nice and soft. Yeah? Right, it's cooking down now, cooking down. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a spoon and start putting some seasoning. This is turmeric, ginger and garlic. I put it in everything at the moment, yeah? And also I drink the juice. What it is, I blend it up and I strain off the juice, and I drink the juice, and I just use the husk as a seasoning in everything. I put it in the cut, I put it in everything. If you watch these videos that I'm doing, you'll see this goes in everything. And my homemade pepper sauce, Scotch bonnet pepper. Right? This stage is the first stage of what we would call for the escovitch fish, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing like a cooked down fish dish here. So I'm going to pour some coconut milk onto that now and reduce it. But first, I'm just going to let that cook down a little bit, and then I'm going to add a veg stock to it. I want it to be tender. I don't want it cooked I don't want it crunchy. Yeah, I don't want it so it's a little bit crunchy. I want it so it's full, tender and soft, but not burnt. So that is my seasoning. Last but not least, well not last actually, second to last really, is the stock cube. Stick in there. Don't have to put it in if you don't want. Depends on if you like salt or not. I'm trying to cut down on salt really. I should do. So put that in there, and then let that dissolve. And while that's happening, I can just wash my hands, as you do. Keep your hands nice and clean. And then I'm going to pour in some coconut milk. Right. You can use the solid coconut cube, but this is the coconut milk here. Now I'm just going to pour that in there like that, slowly. And basically, that's going to reduce a little bit, well, hopefully a little bit, or whatever, how it reduces. That's going to reduce, and And that will be my sauce for my salmon. So it looks a little bit runny at the moment, but it will come to the boil, then it will reduce. It will taste amazing. Right, I'm just going to taste this sauce now, just to make sure that it tastes, it's got enough salt and everything in there. It's got a nice colour to it, a nice creamy colour. I don't know if you can see, it's got a nice little creamy colour to it. A bit further, you can see. Right, I want to taste it there. Woo! Ooh, bang in. Woo! Right, I've put the fish, a little piece of the fish in the sauce, cooking down. Right, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out the banana. So I'll show you over here what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the banana. It should be nicely cooked. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the skin. So just remove it like that. Now normally when the banana is cooked, the skin splits. But what I did, I turned off the water. I know it's cooked. It takes about 10 minutes. I didn't want it to overcook because it will get too soft otherwise. As you can see, I'll just pull it off like that. It's a bit hot. And then I'm going to start to plate up my dish. Alright, so I can cut that in half. I'm thinking we'll have to plate it up. Shall I plate it up? Alright, let me get a bit of yam out. Oh, the yam's nice and soft as well. Now, presentation is important. Whether it's Caribbean, British, European, African, whatever the country, presentation is important. And just because it's presented in a certain way, it doesn't take away anything from the authenticity of the dish. Yeah, if you know what I mean. So, if I present it a certain way, it's not to take anything from the originality of the dish. That's a good word, yeah? So, let's put this back a little bit. And I'm going to put my... In fact, it'd be better if I was to do something like that. The dumpling is, as I said before, 2 parts flour, plain flour, to 1 part corn flour, 1 part cornmeal. So if I was to have 100 grams of plain flour, it'd be 50 grams of cornmeal. If it was 2 spoons of plain flour, 1 spoon of cornmeal, and enough water until it forms a dough. No salt or anything, depends, because this one here was cooked in a saltfish water, so it still contains some salt in it. So I don't want to put any added salt to that. And I've got to redesign my hard food platter. Call it what you will. Right. So the next thing I want to do, I want to put the salmon on there somewhere. Put the salmon on here somewhere, and I don't want any splattering. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use spoon, wash it off. I tasted it, didn't I? And I'm going to use some of this garnish. So I get some onions and some of the garnish and just stick it on top of the salmon like that. Yeah, just a little bit of the garnish and stick it on top of the salmon so that it lies on the salmon like that. Oops, the spoon has fallen into the sauce, excuse me. Right, so, and then I'm going to get a little bit of the sauce and just spoon it around like that. There is my Caribbean salmon with hard food. Bon appetit!